Hola, my name is Ivan Aristeguieta. I am a professional stand-up comedian.
Start me up, cocoon. And I go, ha ha ha.
Keep it on, keep it on.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kehau Jackson.
So funny. Cocoon.
Keep it on, keep it on.
We're gonna have a beautiful chat. Thank you for showing your face. I love you.
I love you too. We haven't seen each other since when? Mount Gambier.
That was a really good gig. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Things that I remember, like we had this connection. I think foreigners, when we are immigrants, doesn't matter how long you've been living in a different country, there's an immediate connection of how weird are these people, and we connect. Yeah.
When Hawaiians kiss, traditionally it's nose to nose, and you're supposed to inhale each other. I think maybe we inhaled each other. I think maybe we bonded like that, and that's the traditional thing where you kiss and you inhale.
I made this observation. I don't know in Hawaii. People have, like in Australia, they order pizza and they have like a garlic bread on the side.
Yeah.
Do they do that?
Yeah.
Okay, because in Venezuela that's not common at all.
Oh, it isn't. Not carb loading.
Exactly. It's just because for me, like garlic bread is just really bad pizza.
Yeah,
There's
right.
already bread and garlic in pizza. Why would you have like a lesser version of the same thing?
And then they give you the little dipping thing, which is like pizza sauce. So actually,
Exactly.
you have to make your own damn pizza on the side.
Because
You lazy bastards
like that.
back there.
I'm gonna take note on that. I love that. I like
You
that.
can have it. You can have it.
IKEA pizza deconstructed.
What is that? It's like everybody's like high-rising all of their... This is like food Jenga. You got to be careful. Everything's falling apart.
I like that. I like that term for Jenga.
Okay, help me with this one.
Okay.
They say to prevent serious damage in an accident, you should have your child in a child safety or a booster seat until they're 145 centimeters tall. I am only 152 centimeters tall. And I'm shrinking. Because between the ages of 30 and 70, you start losing spinal fluid. Your spinal discs get closer together and you actually do shrink. That means any day now, my husband will be driving me to a gig and I'll have to be sitting in a car safety seat in my own damn car. People will be looking in the car. Here's my tag. People will be looking in the car going, that is one wrinkly baby. And he's like, shut up, that's my wife. You know?
That's your sugar daddy.
Oh, sure, I'm 70. I'll be 71 in September.
And how long have you been doing comedy for?
Since I was 43, so I started quite late. So what is that? My math is not good. 27 years, I guess.
So when you were 43, what were you talking about when you were 43? And what was when you started talking about aging?
You know what? I didn't start talking about aging seriously till I was at least in my 60s. But not so much about the aging process. I only have one child. But as I'm going through the aging process, I find it's like a gold mine of material. I mean, you know that what you're going through, so many people go through. Melding with the audience, that is so crucial, that they know you, they love you, they're right there with you for every experience you have. And that I found has been, in the last few years, especially working on ships, you know the age demographic on ships. I mean, it's not exclusively what I talk about, but because as a comic, as you know, a comic takes a mirror and he holds it up to life and he goes, you need to look at this. It's hysterical. I said, that's the comic's job. You hold up a mirror and you say, this is what life is, and it's hysterical. And people go, oh, that's me in that mirror. Yes, you're right, you know.
You don't see any retirement in the near future.
I have more gravitational pull than you do.
You're a touring comedian like all of us. That's what we do. It's the wisdom that comes behind. Like you can go back to the same material that you were talking about 30 years ago, but now with 30 more years of wisdom, and the material changes so much, and it's so much, there's so much depth in the material, and that's the I love that. Do you know comedian Mark Maron?
Yes, Mark Maron. He has a podcast too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has this joke about. It's not a joke. It's an entire routine on watching the Rolling Stones recently, when you know the Rolling Stones are getting old, he's an older version of himself as a Rolling Stones fan, and the way he described the entire thing, like he didn't want to go. He was afraid of going to the Rolling Stones concert because he thought like this night might be it when just Mick Jagger just drops dead on stage.
Yeah, start me up.
Have you done that bit?
No,
That's
no,
amazing.
no.
Just write it down right now. Start me up. You reminded me of a joke that I'm trying to write at the moment. I'm figuring it out. I've been researching about the Sikhi culture in Australia, and because I applied for my citizenship, so I wrote this thing like could be like a math problem, something like, okay, citizenship test. You're going to quit a job in 3 months, and you have 7 Sikhis that you haven't used. How often do you have to take a Sikhi? Taking note that every new month you accrue 1 extra sick day.
Right.
And it's a proper mathematical problem.
Oh,
and I know
good.
that any Australian it gets it. Like, yeah, I know. I have been through that
don't ace it. Don't ace it.
mathematical conundrum. Yeah.
You better have a good excuse. That doctor's paper better say deceased before you call in sick. You know what I mean?
I understand that.
Yeah. So it's like, here's very casual. It is very casual. Yep. Jakasiki. And part of the reason for, you know what part of the reason for that is? Because all the words they use here are so cute. A sickie. That doesn't sound like you're cheating the company, does it?
Just a sickie.
Just a little sickie. Yeah. So it doesn't seem so bad. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem bad. Oh, you just got a little sickie. You know. Because everything has got nicknames here. Everything's got a nickname.
Instead of saying I'm dying, like in Venezuela, you have to explain with so much detail to proper Chakasiki to get to a point of your boss to go, oh, I don't want to hear anymore, just stay home. Like, you have to go like, I had diarrhea, I was in the car on my way home, I thought it was a fart.
Yeah, right.
I'm cleaning the car now. Like, you have to do...
Yeah, right. You have to have a lot of explanation.
Yeah, and it's like, please don't come.
Yeah.
You have to be like that. So, Kehau, do you have any plans for next year for festival season?
I'm looking to get older women comics to do a show together.
Beautiful.
And they're all hitting the mark hard on the circuit. They're all doing really well. Not in the prime time of our lives, but in fact, in the best time coming up. So I want to call it Antique Comics Roadshow. And just
Antique Comics Roadshow.
I think it's kind of crucial, and it's kind of good with this Victorian Seniors Festival kind of thinking. I mean, it's crucial that women especially, but in general, people see older comics still practicing their craft, still being funny, still reflecting life, still full of life. It's important to keep that perspective in comedy as well, and to let people know a lot of people don't go to comedy clubs. They think it's for 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds and stuff,
That's
but
true.
It's not. Comedy, everybody enjoys comedy.
I really want you to get it because the name Antiques Comedy
Comic Roadshow.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's very catchy and it's very interesting and it's so sellable. Like for radio stations to interview you about it, for TV, for all the press release, it's very great hook. And that's the thing that we have to find when we are preparing a show for an upcoming festival. It's interesting that I just said that because I actually learned that from you. And I'm telling you, I'm producer explaining to you, and you're like, come on, I've heard that before. You were my first producing mentor.
Yes, what was that?
When I arrived to Australia. Now that I think of, okay, it sounds stupid that I'm telling you about how to write a press release when you actually taught me how to write a press release a few years ago when you gave me that grant the Dave Grant Comedy Grant with Kate, Maggie, and yourself, that you were doing that show together, the Three Stuffed Mums. So beautiful that giving the opportunity of new comedians to produce and start their first show at the Adelaide Fringe Festival.
Yeah. David just passed, 2010, I think it was. And we did our show that year for 2 years, and it was very successful, Three Stuffed Mums. Very successful, and we thought that we wanted to pay back.
I thought she should have used that time with the world's attention firmly upon her, just to walk down to John Howard and go, say sorry, you little bugger. Take care, see you again, thanks a lot.
Dave Grant, kid!
That was Dave's thing. You always support, especially new comics. He was very supportive. And so we thought, well, that would be a good way. We'll give somebody a kickstart. We didn't have a lot, but I was running the venue, so I said I'd give 3 nights free. They can do a 3-night run on us.
You know a nice story about my relationship with Dave Grant, because I never got to meet him.
Yes, he'd already passed.
When I arrived to Australia, he already passed. But that connection through you guys, and I actually got to meet his wife and kids.
Yes, they came to when you did your first Melbourne show, International Comedy Festival show.
Yeah. One beautiful thing that we have in our comedy world is the path you've paved for new comedians, and there's a lot of respect.
That's the thing about comedy, you know, the audience will tell you when to retire. They'll be like, oh, not funny. You know, and that's when you go, check please, I'm done. Until that point, you can work as long as you like. You got job security as long as you're good at what you do.